Hello everybody, and time for another recipe from the Contented Calf Cookbook. Today's recipe is the Salmon and Crab Cakes. So let's have a quick look at the ingredients. We've got potatoes peeled and chopped. We've got a can of red salmon and 2 cans of crab meat. We've got some spring onions finely chopped. We've got mayonnaise, finely chopped chives, English mustard powder, 60 grams of white bread, 1 medium egg beaten, and some plain flour. We also need some sunflower oil for greasing. Quick tip, if you don't normally buy white bread, I find that a small white roll is about 60 grams, so perfect. Now this is another recipe that you can either cook and eat straight away or freeze, and I'm going to be freezing these today. So although step 1 is to turn the oven on and bring it up to the right temperature, I'm going to leave that for today. And so my step 1 is just to bring a pan of water to the boil and add the potatoes. I'm going to simmer them for about 15 minutes or until tender, and then drain and mash those. So here are my drained boiled potatoes, and now time to mash. Next I need to drain the salmon and crab in a sieve and press it with a fork to squeeze out as much liquid as possible. So already got my salmon and 1 lot of crab there. Let's just do the second can. Pop that in the sink. Here's my fork, and really it's just to press out as much liquid as possible. So once the salmon and crab are nicely drained, you add them to the mashed potato along with the chives and the spring onions and the mustard powder, and finally mayonnaise. And you mix that all together. So once that was all mixed together, I used my hands to make 6 to 8, I've gone for 8 rounds, which I'm going to set aside. So put those to one side. And then my next task is to blitz the bread in a food processor to make fine breadcrumbs. And so I tip those breadcrumbs onto a wide plate. And I've also poured the egg into a shallow bowl, as you can see there. And I've also put the flour onto a separate plate and seasoned it with a little salt and black pepper. So next stage, I basically dip the fish cakes into the flour, then the egg, and then the breadcrumbs to coat them on both sides, and place them on a baking tray. And at the end of the process, everything should look a little like this. The flour, the egg, the breadcrumbs, the lovely coated fish cakes on the baking tray, and your hands will probably look something like this. So it is a little messy, but it's really a great way of getting the breadcrumbs to coat the fish cakes. So if I were going to be cooking these, I'll then put them in the oven. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them in the freezer until they are frozen, and then I'll be transferring them into freezer bags. And they will freeze up to 3 months. So sorry I can't show you what those look like straight out the oven, but the great news is that that recipe is on our website. So if you just go to www.contentedcalf.com/recipes and click on the salmon and crab fish cakes, you can have a go yourself and either freeze them or try them straight away.